the Jewish people know a little something about what it's like to be deported.
Shut it down! Shut it down!
Today, the mayor of Newark, New Jersey, is appearing in federal court after being arrested last week during a protest at an immigration and customs facility in northern New Jersey. Mayor Ras Baraka appearing before a judge on a trespassing charge. The mayor claims the facility did not get the necessary city permits to house migrants and that ICE had blocked inspections. NewsNation's Marcus Espinoza is live outside of the federal courthouse there in Newark. So Marcus, walk us through what happened during the mayor's appearance earlier this morning.
Hey, Nicole, good afternoon. Yeah, quite the scene here. About 200 protesters out here supporting him in this court appearance. We were here right when he came outside. If we can bring up that video as well. He did not answer any questions until he walked over to a podium there. I tried to sneak one in, but he had simply a message to give. So when he took that podium, he had a brief, about 15-minute message to his supporters and to anybody who's listening there, but it was definitely a passionate message. So here's what we learned from this appearance at court today. Basically, we have a tentative trial date start that's going to happen either in June or July, and then from there, there's some other things to figure out at this moment as well. So the two sides gathered for a status conference in the chambers of the U.S. Judge Andre Espinoza regarding those trespassing charges filed against Newark Mayor Ras Baraka. The status conference was to discuss Baraka's request for a prelim hearing to determine if that case should even go to trial. And then according to Baraka's lawyer, Raymond Brown, and the New Jersey Monitor, the discussion also included about when the government would turn over evidence as well. So a bit of a recap. Baraka, a Democrat running in the New Jersey governor's race, was arrested last Friday after he joined Representatives Rob Mendez, LaMonica McIver, and Bonnie Watson Coleman in attempting to enter that ICE detention facility. The mayor has denied being on the detention facility's property, but Alina Habba, the interim U.S. attorney for New Jersey, said Baraka trespassed at the facility. But when he came out here and spoke to supporters, again, didn't take questions, didn't take anything from the press. He made his message clear that this case is a ruse and should be thrown out.
They should dismiss the case. They should dismiss it today. We're sitting there talking about where they should dismiss it today. Get rid of it now. It is silly, it's petty, it's unlawful. Get rid of it. You should not have it. You're not going to pressure me with this case. You're not going to push me in one direction with this case. Get rid of it.
Now, the mayor has been an outspoken critic of that facility, even returning yesterday, but without incident, not anything close to what happened that really began this entire process here. But he has certainly been vocal about that particular facility here.
And Marcus, we're hearing that members of Congress who also tried entering that ICE facility could also be facing some disciplinary action.
Yeah, there's a few folks of note. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem has called, in fact, for them to be removed from committees in this situation here. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson also thinks that there's some legal ramifications to this as well. And then a DHS spokesperson suggested they could face arrest. Now, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries spoke that would be a bit extreme or an overreach. So there could potentially be some conflicts there down the road, even some consequences, rather, would be the appropriate word. But some wondering whether or not this was a political stunt. But the mayor saying that this is something that he believes in and that facility, he is adamantly against that. And he made that message very clear that day and then also this afternoon.
All right, Marcus Espinoza live for us there in Newark. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.